A very warm welcome to FICCI National President Joyshri Das Verma ji, our keynote speaker, Mrs. M. Beena, Development Commissioner Handlooms, Ministry of Textiles, Government of India, our esteemed panelists, past President FLO, Mrs. Anjana Somany, Mrs. Anita Dongre, Fashion Designer Extraordinaire, Mrs. Meera Garodia, Co-Chair Creative Dignity, and Pabiben Rabari, acclaimed artisan and entrepreneur. All the GB members who are here with us on this Monday afternoon, evening with us, FLO Handloom and Handicraft enthusiasts, and our lovely guests. The love for our collective heritage, textiles and crafts binds us all. My name is Swati Verma, and I, with my co-head, Rupa Patel, steer the National Textile, Handloom and Handicraft Initiative for FLO, and we welcome you once again to our online event celebrating the unsung heroes of India, the artisans and weavers.
That's right. You can already see me weaving excitedly through this landmark event, like a skilled artisan creating a masterpiece. Thank you all for taking the time out from your busy schedules for the launch of Miraas, FICCI's movement for promoting handlooms and handicrafts.
This is a movement which touches not only our own members, but all the lives that FLO comes in touch with. India has over 200 million strong artisan economy, and of this formidable number, we see over 50% participation of women. Further, the Indian handloom sector, country's second largest employer after agriculture, remains fraught with challenges.
73% of weavers are women. However, as the All India Handloom Census 2019-20 indicates the lack of market demand, non-availability of credit, low earnings, this has affected the working of the sector. Competition from power looms, lack of capital investment, professional skill set, and insufficient income pose challenges to the industry and contribute to the declining participation of the younger generations from pursuing the profession. But the good news is that Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, has just launched Bharat Tex 24 for the upliftment of textiles. We will hear from Ms. Beena further about that.
And these challenges, many of which were enumerated by Rupa, were the imperatives that drove FLO's desire to curate Miraas. Our vision for this movement is to empower and revitalize the handloom and handicraft ecosystem while ensuring sustainable livelihoods and prosperity of artisans at the grassroots level.
Good evening, ma'am. Calling from DC Handloom office. DC Handloom, Dr. M. Beena is joining little late, ma'am. She's busy with secretary.
Okay, good to know. Rupa, you can carry on.
Okay, absolutely. Today we are here to celebrate all forms of craftsmen from the looms and beyond. Let's weave through the program, guiding our audience through a tapestry of talent and innovation. Can I please invite National President FLO, Mrs. Joyshri Das Verma, to kindly take the center stage and deliver her welcome address and share her vision with this group. Joyshri.
Good evening, distinguished guests, esteemed panelists, and dear FLO members. It is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to all of you to our path-breaking webinar, Miraas, FICCI's Handloom and Handicraft Movement. Today, we mark the launch of our Textile, Handloom and Handicraft Movement, an initiative that holds a special place in our hearts and aligns with one of the core visions of FLO, to empower and uplift artisans and weavers by promoting their crafts, ensuring sustainable livelihoods, and preserving India's rich cultural heritage. It is under the ambit of FLO's Handloom and Textile Initiative, led by our dedicated governing body members, Rupa Patel and Swati Verma, and supported by the national team members, Revati Raju, Ananya Sharma and Shilpa Patel. It is a validation of our efforts to empower artisans and weavers. Miraas, our handloom and handicraft movement, is a significant step towards recognizing the handloom sector as a vital part of our economy and cultural heritage. At FICCI, our mission has always been to empower women and foster an environment where they can thrive and excel. Over the years, we have championed numerous initiatives that supports women entrepreneurship, education, and leadership. Our commitment to the handloom and handicraft sector is an extension of this very same mission, recognizing the significant role that women play in these industries. Like Rupa mentioned, the 70% of India's handloom weavers are women, and they affiliated via employee communities, making their contribution vital not only to the industry, but also to the economic emancipation of women. According to the 4th All India Handloom Census 2019-20, around 31.45 lakh families are involved in handloom weaving and related activities, deriving their livelihood from this noble craft. This sector exemplifies a country's rich cultural heritage and serves as a crucial income stream for many communities. In the Bharat text, Prime Minister Modi had spoken about Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat, and he spoke about the glorious history of Indian tradition with today's talent, technology with tradition, and it is a thread that brings together style, sustainability, scale, and skill. At the text, he also mentioned about the longevity and capability of India's textile tradition. In FLO's Handloom Initiative, we are working towards helping the artisan from design intervention to create newer markets, to helping them getting accredited. FLO, through its hub or cluster adoption program, is creating sustainable livelihood opportunities for these artisans and giving a facelift to few dying weaves and crafts. Towards this, I would also like to mention that FLO chapters across the country and dedicated members are working with few of the dying weaves. And to mention a few, in Pune, we are working with Himru, at Vadodara, the Sujani weave, Ahmedabad, the Tangalia weave, in Lucknow, the Jali, the dying chicken curry stitch, and at Jammu and Kashmir, the Basholi shawls and the art, in Kolkata, the Roshnara checks, and in Chennai, the Tota art, to name a few. And I'm sure today's event and listening from our panelists is not just about highlighting the challenges faced by the handloom industry, but also about celebrating the resilience and innovation of our artisans. We look forward to a deeper understanding of the handloom and handicraft sector, exploring its rich cultural heritage and economic significance. It is also an opportunity to listen to inspiring stories from social groups and artisans who have overcome traditional barriers and set new standards of excellence. These narratives, which will highlight the resilience, creativity, and innovation within the community, showcasing how they have transformed challenges into opportunities and contributed significantly to the sector's growth and sustainability. And today, we are indeed honored to have an absolute erudite panel of speakers who are stakeholders of the value chain and have significantly contributed to this sector. We have Dr. M. Beena, Development Commissioner, Handlooms, Ministry of Textiles, Government of India. We have Ms. Anjana Somany, past President FLO and also the founder, director, Mango Trees. We have Ms. Anita Dongre, the renowned fashion designer. We have Ms. Meera Garodia, the co-chair of Creative Dignity. And we have Ms. Pabiben, Rabari, and very ably it will be moderated by Shirley Chopra, the founder of Gayatri and She the People. So with this session, we will also witness the e-launch of the Giving Circle, a form of participatory philanthropy where individuals voluntarily associate to donate their money or their time. And FLO, in collaboration with Creative Dignity, pledges to support the artisan community by launching a catalog showcasing the brilliant works of artisans. This initiative is a testimony to our commitment to supporting and promoting these talented individuals and their crafts. As we embark on this journey, I invite all of you to join us in celebrating the incredible stories of our artisans, understanding the sector challenges, and collectively working towards sustainable solutions. I'm sure we can collectively work and make a difference, support these artisans, and preserve the rich cultural heritage of our nation. Thank you. Over to you, Rupa and Swati.
Thank you, Joyshri, for the rousing speech. I want to tell everyone today that the audience is a representation not only from FLO, we have Creative Dignity, people outside the circle of FLO, plus artisans. There are artisans in our audience today, and they want to hear their voices and ours on the panel. But before that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a lady whose unwavering dedication towards promoting Indian artisans is a constant source of encouragement to all of us. Meera Garodia, to come forth and talk about the Giving Circle, a joint collaboration between Creative Dignity and FLO. Over to you, Meera.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rupa, Joyshri ji. Thank you, the beautiful FICCI FLO community. I really, truly feel honored that today we are formally a part and parcel of your network. In fact, when Creative Dignity began in 2020, we really didn't know it was going to be such a big movement. And actually today, if you see, we have become a small microcosm of the entire creative handmade sector. We represent almost all the stakeholders who make up this ecosystem. And it's a very unique experiment that we have embarked on because, you know, this movement actually belongs to everyone, to all of us here. In fact, many members here today are actually part of the Creative Dignity community as well. And it belongs to all of us, but none of us actually own it. And that's really something that all of us treasure and value, because we believe we are here for the larger good and of, you know, the creative ecosystem, because of which I think so many of us have found joy, meaning in our lives. So I'm very, very proud to be representing that today on behalf of all my CD colleagues and team members. So very briefly, I can just say that sometimes it's a little puzzling and mysterious as to what CD really does. You know, we came together in 2020. Very quickly, the network spread across India, and different practitioners, you know, people like me who have worked in the sector with artisans, social enterprises, NGOs, designers, buyers, you know, networks like FICCI FLO. And I must say, I must thank Rupa and Reshma, because they saw the potential of this movement from the very beginning, and they supported CD in, you know, at the point in time, at that point with the, you know, initiative we began in Gujarat. And I see today that many members from Gujarat on the call. So that itself is very heartening to see. So we began in 2020. Simple aim was just to support during the pandemic, help out with relief and distress during a difficult period. But then we quickly realized that what we were all able to do together was, the impact was tenfold than what we were doing individually. And apart from that, we realized that it was so much creative, so much more productive to work with different minds, to work with people who came with different strengths, different orientations. And truly, it energized all of us. And before we knew it, the movement reached out to over 11,000 artisans in the first year. Today, after 4 years, I can very confidently say that we have reached to more than 30,000 artisans in different ways, through relief, training, building markets, building skills, etc. And our member strength today is over 600 members almost, and a very, very diverse section of the entire ecosystem. We've managed to reach out to 1,000 plus marketing channels. We've built a very robust, and are still building a robust holistic artisan enterprise program. But of course, the core of all our work remains the strengthening and supporting and building of the ecosystem for creative handmade practices, because as we all know, it is an informal economy, it's completely self-organized. And people can only thrive if there is a strong ecosystem to support. And our partnership today with FLO is one more step towards building this ecosystem. The Giving Circle was a very simple idea that came from the principle of CD's own vision, that we look at a world where artisans can thrive with dignity, where artisan voices are heard, where artisans are seen. Very often we do not see them, we do not even much less hear them. So it is from this simple desire of connection, which is what CD primarily does, the connection between different stakeholders so that greater impact can be achieved. So the simple idea of Giving Circle is that we want to bring authentic, credible artisans, creative practitioners, creative enterprises to the people who can really appreciate and value their products. And in a spirit of equality, in a spirit of respect, and in a spirit of coming together, just to take a very easy decision for all of us to commit a certain amount of our time or money towards getting connected with an artisan, either online or through an event or in other ways that we will discover as we work together. And CD takes the responsibility of putting together a well curated catalog for everyone, bringing you unique products, bringing you different gems of karigars from different parts of the country and different regions, so that they can have visibility, they can get connections which otherwise will not come to them, and you can get a really nice selection of products. So your work is done, and all you have to do is just click a button. That's the very simple idea. It's the core idea where the partnership began when we started talking with Rupa. But we hope that it will grow into something much bigger than that. Though this idea itself is a very powerful idea, because can you imagine all the FICCI Flow members committing to buy from artisans across the year? What a dramatic impact that would be, and how inspiring it would be for other people to emulate and follow. So we will begin with that clear focus, but we do want to develop regional focuses. We understand that a lot of CD members are, a lot of FICCI Flow members are already doing sterling work with different crafts and practices. And it would be great if our members, our network can align, support them, enhance their work in any way. And we look forward to building this partnership together in the future. Thank you, everyone, very much.
Meera, can you launch the catalog?
Pabiben will have to do that.
Okay.
So everyone, we will get to see the jointly developed catalog on the screens, and you can get to see what beautiful work the artisans have for all of us. And we can all simply order for it for all our gifting, corporate gifting, Diwali gifting needs by the click of a button through this catalog. And the best part about it is also that all the artisans mentioned here are certified, they are authentic, and have been cross-checked by CD.
Hi everyone, I hope you can see my screen. And the link for the catalog has also been shared in the chat, so you can go through it at your own time as well. We will go through it briefly just for you to see what there is curated by CD. We begin with basic introduction about CD and FICCI Flow that we've all come to know. We start with a product from Jharkhand. This is a tribal art made from by Manik Chand Mato, who's a tribal artist, and he does this Orai art. Basic information about the craft is that it was done in with mud and on the walls like a mural, which has been transported into sheets of paper, and the mediums have changed over time, and our artisan has developed different forms that you can carry home or use as a gift product to be given. We have options from Uttam Chitrakar, who you will hear in a bit. We have some Pattachitra and Kalighat paintings, which can be placed on an order. We have some tribal art again from Sukhiram Marwari, who's a Gond artist. He's also in our audience today watching the catalog unfold. So please make sure you reach out and get in touch with him. Then we have these reed and leathercraft baskets which come from Belgaum district of Karnataka. This is done by a father-daughter duo in Karnataka, and they weave these different sorts of baskets and home products in reed and leather. So here are different options from them. Then we have this copper bell craft from Gujarat. Luhar Javed is also in our audience and he's watching us. Look at his beautiful product. So this is a table decor bell that you can place order. There's more variety to what we're showing right now, but this is just to give you a basic idea of what all can be covered. So we have some a Jhumar style this hanging. Then we have somebody from Agra. This is Imtiaz Ali, who does marble carving and marble inlay. And they develop different kinds of home and utility products that could be tea lights, coasters, some lattice work on boxes. So different sizes are available. Anything can be done on custom, and a lot of these options are available with us. Then we have embroidery from Kashmir. This is done by Sajad, who will also be joining us on the panel later. So he does the Ari embroidery and he's modernized the motifs and the technique into something which is usable for our modern times. And we all of us would love to carry something like this. Another interpretation of the Ari embroidery that he's done is these wall panels that are available for purchase. They look beautiful in interiors. There are different patterns that have been framed and put up. So this can be placed in order. Then we have something special from Ladakh. This is 100% woven fabrics from a young girl called Diskit who works with her mother in Ladakh. They started in 2007 and have been taking the enterprise forward. So they work in wool and all the kind of woolen textiles are available, pashmina, goat hair and sheep wool. So yeah, some options from them. Different ranges are available. Then we have Pattu weaving from Rajasthan. This is Khetaram, and he has modernized with help of a design intervention from CD. He has modernized the Pattu weave of Rajasthan into beautiful panels that can be adorned into our houses. There's cushion covers of the same, which the inspiration for him has come from the flora fauna around his area, and that's what he represents in his art, in his pieces. Then we have AliExpress, another interesting recycled handmade paper venture from Jaipur, Rajasthan. They work with elephant poop and convert them into papers and journals and different kinds of diaries. And the most of the company is employed by women, so a lot of women have been working here. Then we have something from Nagaland, Veku, who's here with us. She does the loincloth looping from Nagaland. She's developed interesting motifs and interpretation of her own craft into something that we can take into our houses. Then Ajrak, as we all know, is a well-known textile that we all love and adore. So we have Zubair from Ajrakpur, Gujarat, who works with us and who creates these beautiful cushion covers available in different sizes, which you can place an order for. And more Dhakni wool products from Karnataka. So these are bags done in local Dhakni sheep wool and were done with local natural leather through traditional practices and can be worked out. These were just hampered curations from artisans. We have two enterprises also that we're featuring who do already curated gift options. So we have Sirohi who have a catalog for their own. They work with women artisans and weave these baskets and also curate special gift hampers for you to take forward. They're available on different costs. And also from Eki Beki, who've recently come out with the Rakhi hampers as Rakhi is coming up. And these people will have pre-made hampers that you can just pick up and, purchase and take them forward. And yeah, so this is the first curation. And I'd request if anybody would like to token purchase something.
Yes, how do we do that? We click.
Yes, how do we do that?
So Rupa, you'll have to raise your hand and then Akshita will click that product.
Yes. Right. So you can keep moving. We'll raise our hands. Yeah.
Yes. I'll begin again from the. So we have the Rai paintings from Manikchand. Yes, Swati, you would like to.
I've just opened a school, so I would love to get the bells.
Oh, bells. Okay, let me purchase the bells for you. So, would you like these
I'd
chandelier
like
bells?
the table bell as well as the chandelier bell, if you can just earmark those.
Sure, sure. Yes, here it is. And yeah, your
Okay.
purchase is done, Swati. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so happy.
I love those Kashmiri embroidered bags.
These ones?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get one of you this.
Thank
Okay, got
you.
it. Another one, please.
Yeah, just go back, Akshita. I've chosen. Yeah.
So while we are looking, I'm just suggesting that imagine we are 12,000 women plus in FLO. And if one of us buy just even 1,000 worth of anything from here, we'll have a collection of 1.2 crores, which basically is a huge sale and a livelihood for these artisans.
So, any case, this was meant to be more of a symbolic opening. So,
Yes.
we actually wanted Joyshree to be the first purchaser.
Yes, I
And
wanted this. I wanted this, the wall hanging from Kashmir. Yeah. This
Okay,
one.
any color preference? This or this one?
I'm a very red person. The other one, please.
Yeah, we can see that today.
Yes.
yeah, so
I'm
I
also
think
going to
four
pick up
other people
something.
have raised their hands.
Yes,
So
me
we
too.
can maybe stop it at 4, cap it at 4, because we have to
Yes.
begin.
And then actually this catalog will open up. So just
Yes, then you
I
can.
think Poonam wants to buy something.
Yeah, so can you just scroll a bit?
Yes.
I could buy the Rakhi. Okay, I'm going to take this. It's going too fast.
Okay. Yes.
So I will take the trinket tray.
The memory
And-
trinket tray.
Yeah, the memories trinket tray, and one more thing I had. So there are lots to buy, but just for today, can I scroll through?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll leave that for later. I'll take that as a token. Yeah.
We just continue with the program.
Yes.
That, yeah. Thanks, Nam.
Thank you.
So before
Thank
we
you
go
all.
any further, I would just like to say that it's such a beautifully curated catalog and kudos to the entire team at CD for putting this together for us. And just saying that we can't wait to shop at leisure from this treasure trove. And I'm sure all our Diwali and festive season corporate gifting needs will be met at one place. Can I now request
Hi, Rupa. I think if you're not taking the red bag, the Kashmiri one, I'll take it if you're taking the white one.
No worries. Please take that.
Okay, thank you. I'll take the red one then. Thank you.
I can see the shopping fever is taken over, but the link is
Just get on
posted
to
in
the
the chat
part,
group.
yeah.
So all of us can go through that link in our own time and order stuff to our heart's content. With permission, I would like to move on to the next part of the program today, and perhaps one of the most exciting parts. A Pattachitra and Kalighat narrative painting has been prepared specially by Uttam Chitrakar and Sonali Chitrakara. And it's going to be accompanied by Sonali rendering a specially composed song, the Miraas anthem, live for all of us on this platform. Can I request Bhakti, the communication strategy and design consultant at CD, to tell us more about this fantastic visual and audio treat?
Hello everyone. So Uttam Chitrakar and Sonali Chitrakar from Medinipur, West Bengal are an artist power couple, and they are really modernizing the legacy of Pattachitra and Kalighat paintings. These are narrative painting styles from West Bengal dating centuries. They use natural colors and delicate brushstrokes to bring out cultural narratives. And these initially focused on Hindu mythological stories. And now the themes that they talk about have evolved into political themes, contemporary social issues. And today, for this special project, they have showcased the handcrafted traditions of India. And they call on to all of us as Indians to not just buy from artisans, but also the handmade lifestyle. So this is in complete sync with what we are trying to do at Miraas over here with FICCI, FLO and Creative Dignity. And the process really involved us discussing new ways in which people are buying handmade, new ways in which people are adopting a handmade lifestyle, and then Sonali ji and Uttam ji converting a lot of that into not just painting, but also a song. So we wrote poetry together, initially in English, then they translated quite a lot of it into Bengali, which is what they sing in. And they've done a similar project with us earlier when they did a series of special themed paintings where they talked about artisans taking on to the digital world for an award that Creative Dignity had organized called the Digital Artisans of India. So they're really looking at telling contemporary relevant stories. I call upon Uttam ji और Sonali ji, आप please अपना audio और video on करके सबको थोड़ा अपना काम दिखाइए और गान सुनाइए.
नमस्ते, मैं सोनाली चित्रकार.
नमस्ते नमस्ते.
हाँ, तो ये काम हमने किया है, इसका ऊपर गाना भी किया है. उसका साथ साथ हम जो गाते हैं, अभी शुरू करूं?
जी सोनाली जी, शुरू कीजिए.
শোনো দাদা, শোনো দিদি, শোনো গো সবাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই. প্রথমে বলি পট শিল্পের কথা, গাছ পাতা রং দিয়ে ছবি যে আঁকা. প্রথমে বলি পট শিল্পের কথা, গাছ পাতা রং দিয়ে ছবি যে আঁকা. রামায়ণ মহাভারতের সামাজিক গান গেয়ে যায়, রামায়ণ মহাভারতের সামাজিক গান গেয়ে যায়. দাদা শোনো দিদি, সবাই শিল্পী আর নকশি কাঁথা পূজায় সুতো দিয়ে নকশি কাঁথা শিল্পীরা সবার মনে. দাদা শোনো গো সবাই, শিল্পীরা সবার মন কেড়ে নেয়, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে থাকা চাই. পাট শিল্পী, জুট শিল্পী, শোনো গো সবাই, বাঁশ শিল্পীর কথা মনে রাখা চাই. পাট শিল্পী, জুট শিল্পী, শোনো গো সবাই, বাঁশ শিল্পীর কথা সবার মনে রাখা চাই. বাঁশ দিয়ে কত রকমের আসবাব বানায়, বাঁশ দিয়ে কত রকমের আসবাব বানায়, পট শিল্পের কথা মনে রাখা চাই. শোনো দাদা, শোনো দিদি, শোনো গো সবাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই. কত রকমের শিল্পী আছে পশ্চিম বাংলাতে, মেলায় মেলায় দেখা হয় তাদের সাথে. কত রকমের শিল্পী আছে পশ্চিম বাংলাতে, মেলায় মেলায় দেখা হয় তাদের সাথে. দেশ বিদেশের মানুষ কত কিনে নিয়ে যায়, দেশ বিদেশের মানুষ কত কিনে নিয়ে যায়, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই. শোনো দাদা, শোনো দিদি, শোনো গো সবাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই. বার্লি পেন্টিং, গন্ড পেন্টিং আর কাশ্মীরি শাল, রাজস্থানের পেন্টিং দেখলে মন ভরে যায়, বার্লি পেন্টিং, গন পেন্টিং, কাশ্মীরি শাল, রাজস্থানের পেন্টিং দেখলে মন ভরে যায়। পিছুয়াইয়ের কথা শুনলে অবাক হয়ে যায়, পিছুয়াইয়ের কথা শুনলে অবাক হয়ে যায়। শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই। শোনো দাদা, শোনো দিদি, শোনো গো সবাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই। অনলাইন টেলিফোন ইন্টারনেট ভাই আমাদের জীবন বদলে যায়। অনলাইন টেলিফোন ইন্টারনেট ভাই আমাদের জীবন বদলে যায়। অনলাইনে সেলিং করা পেমেন্টও পাওয়া, অনলাইনে সেলিং করা পেমেন্টও পাওয়া, শিল্পীদের জীবন বদলে যায়, সবার জীবন বদলে যায়। শোনো দাদা, শোনো দিদি, শোনো গো সবাই, শিল্পীদের জীবন বদলে যায়। শিল্পীরা সবই পারে, দেশ বিদেশে গিয়ে ওয়ার্কশপ করে, মেলায় মেলায় গান করা সেলিংও করে, মেলায় মেলায় গান করে সেলও করে। শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই। শোনো দাদা, শোনো দিদি, শোনো গো সবাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই, শিল্পীদের কথা মনে রাখা চাই। নমস্কার।
Thank you, Sonali.
Sonali-ji, খুব ভালো।
খুব ভালো। Or for everybody, we've also put a translation of the song into the chat box.
It's a real challenge to move on from this lovely moment. But let us now we have Beena from DC Handloom Textiles, and Joyshri, could you bring her in?
Yes.
Good evening, Dr. Beena, madam.
Yes.
Our keynote speaker for this event today. So let me say a few lines about her to introduce our keynote speaker. Dr. M. Beena, IAS, assumed this charge as Development Commissioner, Handlooms, Ministry of Textiles on 11/10/2023. Earlier, she was working as Chairman, Cochin Port Trust since 4th October 2018. A native of Trivandrum, Dr. Beena is a medical doctor by qualification and got into the Indian Administrative Services from Kerala Cadre in the year 1999. She has served in various capacities in the state, including assistant collector, sub-collector, and director of various departments. She has also served as district collector of Thrissur and Ernakulam. She was also the managing director, Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation, Roads and Bridges Development Corporation, Vaithili Mobility Hub, Kerala Books and Publications Limited, and Supplyco. During her service period of 24 years, she has multifaceted experience in various sectors like infrastructure, development, transportation, industrial development, revenue administration, financial services, etc. She has been associated with many prestigious projects like International Container Transshipment Terminal at Cochin Port, commissioning of Petronet LNG Terminal, phase 2 expansion of BPCL, laying of GAIL pipeline, etc. Under the leadership of Dr. M. Beena, IS, Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation achieved highest recorded profit in the year 2015-16. During the 5 years tenure of Dr. Beena as chairperson of Cochin Port has achieved highest turnover of 763.56 crore. She is married to P. Vijayan IPS and has 2 children, Vishnu Priya and Vignesh. And in fact, it has been an absolute delight to have met Dr. Beena, madam, on 2 occasions in very recent times, and her passion for handloom handicraft is amazing. I mean, her passion just kind of gets into it. And you have been really very motivating, Beena madam. And as per your wish, we are working that we want, and we are doing the movement where we are also encouraging our members to buy Diwali gifts and encouraging them to only stick to handloom and handicrafts. So let's see, like where we reach. The movement has started. We are doing our little bit. And over to you, Beena madam, for your keynote speech.
Thank you so much, Jayashree. Thank you for those lovely words. And thank you for, relating my CV. I'm sure listening to that, all of you will be wondering, what is she doing here? Because, handloom and port and industrial development has very little in common. But having said that, this is a very exciting place to be, a very creative area to be working in. And I really appreciate all of you who are working in this sector. And I must compliment the launch of the Artisan catalog, where all of a sudden you got so much of sales. And had you not intervened, I think it would have gone on and on. I'm really looking forward to that magic figure of 1.2 crore, which I think Rupa was mentioning. So really compliments and to all of you, and for the kind of work you're doing in this sector. Now, I'm sure from the government side, all of you have got a lot of expectations as to what further can be done. And I think an organization of the stature of FICCI FLO, being interested, being involved in such an area, I think it augurs well for all weavers and artisans of India. And along with Creative Dignity and designers, Anita, Dongre, all of us have come together to do our little bit for the betterment of the sector. This sector doesn't need any introduction, all of you are aware. But let me also say that this is actually living heritage. When you talk of heritage, you think of buildings, you think of dead objects. Whereas our artisans and weavers are the epitome of our Virasat of India, which is alive. In fact, no other country, while we have artisanal weaving and handwork in other countries also, the kind of heritage that we have, which is still live, which is live in our villages, which is live in our clusters. So that is something which is unique, and it is something which we should, as a society, jointly preserve and cherish. So I'm really grateful to all of you here, because you're all in some way or the other involved in this, and we are trying to tell this to the market that this is something premium, this is something to be cherished, this is something you should be paying for. And we have designers like Anita ji, who have done excellent work in the sector, and we are also looking at broadcasting it to the world, that we are talking about not just our virasat, not just our culture, we are also talking in terms of the SDG about environmental sustainability, the kind of low power that handloom and khadi sector is using. So I think there is a whole lot of dimensions we can bring to this narrative. And coming to what the government is doing, a lot of programs. I mean, we are giving equipment, we are giving yarn. So all that is there, but there is a requirement to propel the sector to a little more premium sector, which maybe government might not be the right agency to do, while we can give an overall support. The kind of work that NGOs is doing and the kind of work designers are doing is really has a lot of implications in that in this context. So I think every product has got a story. We just heard the Pattachitra story now. And see, the way we look at that art, the way we look at the artisan changes once we hear that story. Now, in the entire cauldron of government schemes and government programs and targets, the government might not be able to sell that story in an effective way. So for us, it is all about number. It is about quantum. It is about number of weavers touched, number of products sold. So I think there is the kind of storytelling which I just now saw is something very potent and needs to be strengthened further. And the traceability, that is also one area maybe we should look at. See, from the origin to the product, as to how it can be traced, maybe with a QR code, maybe you can show the weaver and artisan as to, actually their pictures creating the product. So that is also something which will come in handy while selling the product. And if we are looking at an international audience, certainly the sustainability aspect also comes into the picture. So the kind of selling that you are doing really needs to go places, needs to be strengthened. And innovation, because I saw some the Nagaland, the motifs. Now our Northeast has got so many tribes, and each tribe has got its own motif. So I went to Arunachal the other day, and there were 26 tribes, and each of them have got their different, just by looking at their dress, you can identify to which tribe they belong to. So you don't have to, innovate in design. There are so many designs already. What is required is from the gale, from their normal wear, you need to convert those designs into products which the market. So which I saw beautiful products from the Northeast. So that value addition, bringing in new products. So that is something an organization like FICCI can definitely support. And as always, I really appeal to you again at the cost of repetition that this Diwali, let your company gift a handmade hamper or a handmade product. So if all these companies, all the members of FICCI can actually do it, can reach out, I think you itself, you will become a big market. And if you can, for all those NGOs who are working in this sector, if you can actually help our weavers and artisans in online marketing, that I think that is the way the future is going to move forward. So that is also something which we can think of, corporate gifting and clusters being adopted as part of CSR. The big companies can definitely work with clusters, give them design inputs, give them yarn, and market their products and pass on the benefits to them. So that can be part of CSR. And carbon ratings. See, for example, a big company which is in the textile sector, which will be doing power looms, they can ensure that at least a certain percentage of their product base can be handloom or khadi, so that their overall carbon footprint comes down. So these are some ideas. I mean, it's not a keynote speech or anything, but I'm so happy to work with you. I've met you a couple of times, and I'm really looking forward to work together, because it needs all the hands that are available. It's not just government, not just NGO, not just FICCI. It needs everybody, because we are talking about nearly 70 lakh weavers and artisans. We really need to preserve them and preserve the crafts of India. So thank you, FICCI for arranging this webinar, and it is my absolute pleasure to be a participant, and thank you for all the kind words again. Thank you.
Thank you indeed, Beena ji. This has been very inspiring.
Thank you for inspiring all of us and for those encouraging words. And we are doing a lot of things that you mentioned, and we've taken cues from your words to us, and we should ensure that we take this work forward full steam.
Yes. Get muted.
We want you to be there, Beena ji, so that you're participating in the panel as well.
Yeah, I'll be there for some more time. I'll be there for some.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's move on from this lovely moment, but let us now embark on the most important segments of today's event, the panel discussion. Moderated today's panel by Shaili Chopra. Shaili is an award-winning entrepreneur who runs Gayatri.com and She the People, which together have a monthly viewership of 50 million. She is a fellow from Stanford and Aspen Institute, and previously had a very successful career as a journalist, with ET Now and NDTV. Thank you. Shaili, can you take the discussion forward?
Thanks very much, Rupa. Just wanted to make sure that my panelists were visible all together because I'm struggling to fetch them in the stamp size images at the moment.
So ideally, we should all switch off our videos and just have the panel on, maybe.
No, I'll just ask Saurav to
Or
organize
sort of just pin them, please.
Yeah,
Just
that would
pin
just
them.
be useful. Thank you.
Welcome, Shaili.
Thanks very much, Rupa. Great. So, as we all get pinned as the panel, I just wanted to say that we did have a little bit of disturbance in the last few, sessions, and it'll be nice if everyone could keep their phones or whichever way they can just stay on mute. And the other thing is that my request to the panelists is, given that this is happening on Zoom, and I really have very little time on our hand, given the panel has sort of been a little delayed. I thought it would be nice if we can request you all to answer in about 2 minutes each, so I can keep coming back to you because I have a stash of really important questions. So I'm going to just deep dive straight into this, and first actually go across to, the person who has sort of envisioned the idea of putting creativity, handloom, handicraft at the center stage. So let me go to Anjana Somany and understand how this initiative even started, Anjana. Just want to get the headline story.
Namaste and good evening to everybody. And of course, a special welcome to our keynote speaker, Beena ji. Listening to her gave me hope, I must say that. So we all love handlooms and handicrafts, but and through the decades, of course, it has been, a part and parcel of our lives, and the elite also has loved it. Then why is it not getting its due place is something we would like to ask. So I wouldn't say that I was the pivot and the person who ideated it. It's possible that with my over 3 decades work in the handloom sector, in this sector, handloom and handicraft sector, I have been able to inspire FLO to remain engaged with this initiative. But I must say that the real pivots have been under Joyshree's guidance, the National President Joyshri Verma's guidance. Rupa and Swati have spearheaded it along with the very enthusiastic chapter chairs and all the members of FICCI FLO. So I would really give them the real credit for this. They have done it very nicely. They've thought of it very intensely, and it is going to be done in a sustained way. We have been giving, markets to the artisans, but this sustained effort is quite commendable, and the partnership with CD is a feather in their cap. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm going to go to Anita. Anita, been seeing your journey with the grassroots part of your, part of your business as well as your passion. It's been interesting to see that it started, 2015 perhaps? It's been a while. What led you to do that? And particularly through that journey, which is almost a decade now, do you think this idea of sustainable heritage, handloom, all of that is finally entering public consciousness in a more cemented way? You're on mute. I can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
I think the reason for me to start Grassroots was really my chance meeting with Ela Ben's organization, Seva. I visited them in Gujarat, and for me, the idea of a woman artisan working from the comfort of her own home and supplementing her income is what excites me. Of course, keeping our crafts and textiles alive excites me, but I think what really excites me is women working in the comfort of their homes. And that's what we strive to do in Grassroots. It's been very, very challenging to manage the brand. I think the awareness and the desire for consumers today to buy handwoven and textile is there with a very, very small segment today, because I run a large business of retail, and to keep the entire team motivated, even at the back end, to do grassroots work, which is work with artisans in villages. For me, I have to make a constant effort to push the teams at the back end. At the front end, I think the awareness again for today, especially with so much of, especially in fashion with computer embroidery and so much of computer embroidery that's so cheaply available, for me to keep the craft alive is becoming challenging for me personally. Our focus is, of course, doesn't change. We still ensure that part of the business always goes to artisans, but it's challenging. It's hard because artisanal work is today slower. You send some, you create a design. Fashion is very, very demanding that the products come to the stores on time. I'm telling you the challenges, and as an entrepreneur, what we face. We might
Yeah.
create a full design with an artisan in the village, and then when we send even a small batch production, we can never predict whether it comes back in 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months. And today, when you run retail stores, the challenge is that the goods have to hit the store because you're paying heavy rentals. Rentals have gone up to the roof today in India because retail has taken off. So then, what do you do to ensure that the racks don't stay empty? And then the design team also sometimes loses hope, and the production team loses hope. So one has to be constantly, be
Walking
motivated.
this tightrope.
Let's do this. Let's do this. We have to all constantly sample, double a collection, knowing that some collections may get delayed. It's challenging to get artisanal work on time when you run a retail organization. When I started Grassroot, I had a dream to, take it across to 10, 20, 30 stores. Till today, Grassroot stays as a sub-brand under the brand name of Anita Dongre. So it sits as a separate rack in Anita Dongre stores because I'm never very sure of when my production will come in. So bravely, I'm opening my first Grassroot store in February again, because I said I have to revive the brand, and I have to have Grassroot has to stand on its own 2 feet now. So we've taken together an entire team and put it separate, and we are working within those challenges of product supply and things not working out the way we like to. I would love a separate conversation with Meera and Anjana both, and take their help in which are the more artisanal clusters we can currently work with for this store that's happening in February. My dream is to, in fact, have artisan designer partnerships. I would love to take a designer in my team and get them to partner with an artisan in a village and have the artisan's name on the product, because that's something I think that's really required and needed.
So true. Yeah.
I have all this, I visualized all this 10 years ago. I've not been able to do so much of what I visualized. It's challenging, but I'm hoping to crack it now, at least with this coming store that we are planning to open in Bombay, and we're planning to take that across to more stores.
Okay, congratulations on that. I thought it would be perfect segue now to go from the designer to the artisan with Pabiben, who's sitting here with us. And I remember meeting her down in Ahmedabad, over one of the other FICCI events. Pabiben, अगर आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है, तो मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि आपकी जो कारीगरी है, उसे काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रोत्साहन मिला है और काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्पॉटलाइट मिली है. कई सेलिब्रिटीज़ ने आपके काम को देखा है और उसे क्रेडिट दिया है, और अब आपके जो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो काफ़ी लोगों तक पहुंच चुके हैं. लेकिन आपकी शुरू से काफ़ी स्ट्रगल रही. सो ये जर्नी आपके लिए किस तरह थी? जब आप स्ट्रगल कर रहे थे तो अब आपने स्केल भी देखा है कि काफ़ी आपका बिजनेस फैल गया है और बड़ा हो गया है, with the help of many others along the journey. तो थोड़ा बताएं अपनी जर्नी के बारे में हमारी सारी ऑडियंस को. आपकी आवाज म्यूट पे है, उसे आप अनम्यूट करिए.
आप सभी को मेरा प्रणाम, प्यार भरा. अभी आवाज आ रही है मैम? पारंपरिक व्यवसाय में जो महिलाओं को 4 दीवारों पे कैद रहकर भी जिम्मेदारियों को संभालना, बच्चों को संभालना, परिवार को संभालना, परिवार के हर एक सदस्य को सपना पूरा करने के लिए खुद को, सपनों को कुर्बान करना, वो एक महिला की जिम्मेदारी होती है. क्योंकि खुद की जो खुशी होती है वो महिला उसमें पूरी जिंदगी कर देती है, ऐसे मैं मानती हूँ. क्योंकि वो सारी चीजें मैंने मेरी जिंदगी में देखी है. तो सपने को कुर्बानी देना परिवार के लिए, हर एक सदस्यों को खुशी के लिए खुशी, ये मानसिकता सदियों से आ रही है। थोड़ी गुजराती आ जाएगी मैम। और
आप कोशिश करिए, हम सब भी थोड़ी कोशिश कर लेंगे।
आप हिंदी में थोड़ी गुजराती समझ लोगे?
आई सपोज थोड़ी बहुत, अगर आपसे हिंदी बिल्कुल ठीक से मतलब पूरी तरह से बोली
I can translate. Let her speak.
ओके लवली, ठीक है।
પાબીબેન તમે ગુજરાતીમાં બોલો, હું અનુવાદ કરીશ.
ટ્રાય તો હું પણ હિન્દી ને પૂરેપૂરી કરીશ, પણ થોડી ઘણી गुजराती आ जाए।
भले।
वो मानसिकता मैंने मेरी जिंदगी में देखी है, और आज भी जो पढ़ी लिखी महिलाएं होती है, वो भी उसमें भी उसको खुद का जो महिला उद्यमी बनना है, तो वो महिलाओं को भी वो चैलेंजेस आते हैं, क्योंकि पहले जैसी सोच अभी भी है, मैंने देखी है। तो बनने के लिए परिवार का जो हर महिला को जो उद्यमी बनना है, सबसे पहले वो महिला को तो खुद का परिवार का सपोर्ट की सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है। और मैंने मेरी जिंदगी में देखा है, क्योंकि मैं मेरी खुद की बात करूं तो मेरी पढ़ाई नहीं थी, पर मेरा सपना बचपन से ही था कि मैं कुछ करूं। तो सपनों को साकार करने में मैं बहुत समय निकाल दिया, क्योंकि बचपन में मेरी माँ ने भी सपोर्ट
आज
किया।
तो बता रहे थे कि बहुत पढ़ा है इन्होंने। हेलो,
हाँ आ रही है, आपकी आवाज ठीक से आ रही है।
क्योंकि मेरी पढ़ाई छूट गई, और बिजनेस में पढ़ाई भी बहुत जरूरी है। सबसे पहले मेरी माँ ने, जो मैंने ये बिजनेस शुरू किया तभी सबसे पहले मेरी माँ ने सपोर्ट किया। उसके बाद ज्यादा से ज्यादा पति का सपोर्ट चाहिए। जो महिला का हुनर है, वो हुनर पहचानने में सबसे जरूरत है पति की। हर पति जो महिला को सक्षम बनाने में और उसको उद्यमी बनाने में जो सपोर्ट करे, तो महिला उद्यमी बन सकती है।
समझ गए। तो काफी आपने जिस तरह बोला कि महिला भी उद्यम बन सकती है, और ये तो कहने की बात है कि अगर इंडिया की इकोनॉमी को आगे बढ़ना है तो औरतों को तो काम करना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो इकोनॉमी क्या सिर्फ आदमियों के बलबूते पे तो वैसे भी नहीं चल पाएगी। बट थैंक यू पाबीबेन, आप हमारे साथ जुड़े रहिए यहाँ पर। I'd like to call our other two artisans who are here with us. May I request Veku to put on the camera? Veku, if you are able to hear me. Let's see.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very nice. Thanks so much, Veku. So I want to first ask you really about, your journey in the Northeast. There has been a lot of spotlight thanks to artists like yourself and otherwise. What is the nature of the shift in the market you're seeing, and how do you see the growth of handloom and handicraft out of there at the moment?
Hi, thank you for this time, and thank you, CD, for having me in this FICCI flow lunch. You see, Handloom was there, and then if I say in Northeast, I will just speak about my Nagaland. Nagaland, we have different kind of looms that has been used, but what I'm doing is I'm using my own traditional loom called backstrap loom. My journey started in 2019, mid-July. I started having, I underwent a training on home furnishing, and then which was just to use the natural fiber. And then after that, about before lockdown, we just trained and we just started to produce some samples, but lockdown started, so we thought we may not be able to continue our work journey. But during lockdown, there were a lot of people like CD helping us, like purchasing our natural products. And so I during that time, I realized that we, especially the women, we have to have something to sustain our life, because during lockdown we cannot go anywhere to earn anything. So in that particular time, I learned that I should start something for my own people, for the ladies that are near me. So in 2021, I started this business, my own enterprise, and then till today, CD is with me. CD is helping me, pushing me forward. And so my journey started during the lockdown. That is one thing. And if I say the weaving link with our lifestyle, of course, it's still like the things that we are doing. The weaving has been there in a past life, and now it's still continuing. And when I see like people coming up, especially the designers, they are now like taking initiative by applying our design, our ways to their garments. So that's what I feel is coming up in the light. Like Miss Shillong, they come to me every year for their internship, which is they have been like a part of me, making some like new designs for them. Some people are there. The designers they try to use our like materials for their own like. Yes.
Great. Thanks, Veku. I really appreciate, you've given us a sense of the landscape and also taken us over a period of time about how things have slowly but surely changed. Meera, if I can just bring you into the conversation. There is, of course, the representation from the government. Beena ji is here, and, we are all discussing something that can make this even bigger on scale and make it sustainable. I wanted to understand from you, what do you think are the few on the to-do list from a government expectation point of view? Maybe that'll help me segue into my next question for Beena.
Okay, I think everyone has touched on, the basic crux of what we're all trying to address over here in different ways. And I think that boils down to, as a society, how do we value these practices, which is actually part of our rural economy, which is part of, a generational, skill base that has come to us since so many centuries, which is part of our heritage. How do we really value it? So if you had to look at the average monthly earning of a weaver, it is not more than 6,000 rupees a month. And the number of weavers from census to census, handloom census, if you look at all the census, they have been steadily declining. From 60 lakhs, it became 40 lakhs, and now today we are almost at 20 lakhs, 23 lakhs. And so it's no rocket science, right? I mean, if they are earning 6,000 rupees a month, surely we cannot expect them to just live on the glory of heritage. So there has to be a far more deeper dive. Even someone with as good intentions like Anita is not able to create a market for them, because the problem lies at the self-organized nature of this practice, which requires infrastructure, which requires ecosystem, which requires value building. And I think Meena ji has really flagged all the key points very, very well. And actually, Meena ji, what you did for GAIL, if you can do that for handicrafts and handlooms, we'll really salute you. So bring us all those crores for the sector. That would be so great. But I think the core issue is really building value, because it's really like a catch-22 situation. I mean, how many handlooms will cost more than power looms? That's again a no-brainer. 99% of our population cannot, they cannot afford to buy, pay 100% more. They would much rather buy a handloom look-alike than a handloom.
Got it. Okay, so let me just take that thread with Beena ji. Just a quick reminder, everyone should be on mute.
Ji's phone. Can someone mute Aruna ji's phone?
Okay, great. I'm glad you could just even identify whose it was. I was just scrolling up and down. Beena, this is the perfect point to move the thread of conversation in your direction. One is that Bharat Techs 2024 is very much so here. It'll be good for us to understand the vision there. And having heard both the artisans as well as, the champions of artisans, how do you feel a little faster effort, a little more proactive effort could be made in order to bridge the gap that they're currently seeing?
So basically, I came last October to this department. So what I have seen is what the government is attempting to do is like it's a very weaver oriented kind of programs that we have. We give them scholarship for their children. We give them pension. We give them insurance. We give them somehow we give them looms. We give them workshop. So we really focus as a government. We focus on inputs. Inputs. The reason is very simple in government. It is quantifiable. If you are given a target of giving 100 jacquard looms, it is easily you just purchase it and give it. It's easy. But the other things that we are discussing as how to create the market, how to actually sell this as a value proposition. And when Anita ji mentioned as to how difficult it is to get a product, so we have a portal called indiahandmade.com. So in indiahandmade.com, there is it is an e-commerce portal which government has set up, where all the transportation cost is borne by the government, so that the weaver gets a better deal. But there again, if you see, 70% of cancellation is seller cancellation. So it is not that the recipient doesn't like the design or the size or anything. The seller, so though he put his picture into the site, after some time when the order really comes, that product has vanished and he is not able to give a substitute. So the I think the weaver friend so basically for a woman, it is not an industry. It is not an enterprise. It is something she does, taking care of the home, taking care of the aged at home, and whatever extra time she has, she's putting it into this craft. So the real challenge, I think that is where Meera and all of us we need to focus, is to how to bring that entrepreneurship into the weaver sector. Now, one, they're disorganized. In fact, after agriculture, this is the most disorganized sector in the country. Now, and if you see, for example, in Kanchipuram, this 6,000 does not work in Kanchipuram. If you go, Kanchipuram weavers they get a much better package. You go to Pochampally, they are earning more. So
yes.
Whenever weavers are organized, be it in cooperative society, be it in self-help groups, and the state government's role is also very, very important, because I find the southern state governments are much more, they're yes. more eager to handhold the weaver. So in those areas, we find that things are actually happening very positively. So organizing the weaver from disorganized to organized, I think that is a very important, that is the direction in which we need to work together. Number two is bringing entrepreneurship. See, I think here again, I each time I meet FICCI, I give them some new task. So I think FICCI FLO has got a lot of, if you can help convert weavers groups, which are as of now disorganized, into organized groups, maybe into producer companies, maybe if we can give them GST training, maybe if we can handhold their company formation. I think that disorganized to organized, organized to entrepreneurial, I think that shift is something which will augur positively for the sector. And our issue is that, look, though we do work with designers, at the end of the day, what the market wants, government can never be really on its toes when it comes to what is a modern fashion, what is it the market demands. I think that is where government, we can support designers, we can support e-commerce platforms, but there I think we will need support from designers, support from NGOs, and the branding per se. The branding also, I think, government in a bureaucratic system, we are not the best people to sell the story and broadcast to the world. So I think this is a perfect place where government and the non-government sector needs to work together, needs to work hand in hand. So is there a magic potion which I can advocate and things will change? No. There is a lot of hard work involved, and the numbers were from 60 to 40 to 30 to 20. So this is the truth. I mean, if you go census by census, this has been coming down. But the light at the end of the tunnel, which I'm seeing, is that Meera, I am sure you must have noticed this also. While the number of weavers has been coming down, if you look at the quantum of cloth that is produced, handloom cloth that is produced, it is more or less static. That means we, through whatever schemes and all, we have been able to bring a little bit of increase in productivity, increase in man hours spent. So all is not lost, but I think there's a lot of work to be done by the two of us.
I think you put it really well there that, there's recognition of the realities on the ground, and there is absolute understanding that what the government cannot do and what should be their mandate. Let me actually, this is perhaps the right time to bring back an artisan into the fold. Sajid, I know that you put your camera on short while back. If we can have you on again. Can you share what has the journey been like, working out of Jammu and Kashmir, right? And also, what are your thoughts on what Beena ji just said about the support and the work that the government can put in to support weavers and artisans? Are you around, Sajid? I literally just saw him a few seconds ago. Okay, in the time that we can bring Sajid into the in-vision of the camera, Anjana, I'm going to put this question to you and ask you to just help us articulate that there is often, as Anita herself said, that, there's always the challenge of scaling up. And that seems to be an important challenge to overcome if we really want to make this entire movement widespread. I was wondering if you could shed some light on that. You're on mute.
So somehow scaling up and craft is a little bit not matched. And so I feel that while we do need to have stuff on time and stuff, things like that, but all the time when we talk of numbers and figures and scale, I don't think that lends really to craft practices. Because I just noted while we were talking, I noted a few points down. So I'm saying that we have to first make people learn how to respect the artisans. Because at the moment, even designers, not Anita has a different heart, but they will treat the artisan as labor. Aise karo, aise karo, aise karo. But actually, if you need the artisan for his skill, so you are supposed to co-create and give him due credit for it. And it's not just a designer, so we're not really giving, so we need to give them respect. And most importantly, hand back stewardship of the tradition to them. That is something that we really need to do in a very rapid manner. Then the lack of consumer knowledge is a very big challenge. So, and we need to create this, like you have to answer your question directly. We have to learn how to reward differentiation, scarcity, and the authenticity of the craft. We need a backstory. You need a context. You need to tell them what it is, because that is the education the consumer needs to, really know. So when you're talking about scarcity and differentiation, scaling up is not always the answer. But like in Pochampalli, and you took some examples where there are cooperatives and, societies, then it becomes easier because there you have some scale. Because like in Thailand, you have one village, one craft. We are trying to adopt that in India as well. So if we do something like that, we can have scale. But to have scale with one artisan cluster, I think we should understand that fine difference. And the other thing we really need to know is that when we talk of export figures, we are thinking of just that product. But I think that it is much deeper, and it goes into, like our daily rituals. Talking of timber, we're talking of grains, flowers, weeds, grass, all these things. They're all the raw material. So we're really talking of a broader base that contributes, to the handicraft sector.
Yes, and the handicraft sector contributes to, well, sustainability of the environment, among other things, and far more conscious living. I saw Sajid put his camera on, so I thought, let me just get his voice in. Sajid, if you can hear me, wanted to understand your experience of working in Jammu and Kashmir currently in terms of the kind of support you have as artisans and what kind of support you're seeking as a community.
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry for that. We have network issue here.
No problem.
Can I talk in Hindi?
हाँ बिल्कुल जैसे आप कंफर्टेबल हैं.
Thank you, ma'am. तो मेरा नाम सजाद अहमद है. मैं 30 years old हूँ. मेरा फैमिली बिजनेस यही है, आरी एम्ब्रॉयडरी. पिछले मैं 3rd generation से ये काम कर रहा हूँ. तो हम सब लोग मिलके ये काम कर रहे हैं. मेरे पास 50+ आर्टिजन है, जिसमें 43 वुमेन्स है. और वो कुछ इनमें से शादियां हुई है, कुछ की नहीं हुई है. छोटी एंटरप्रेन्योर भी है. मैं 2017 में एक एनजीओ से जुड़ा हूँ, कमिटमेंट टू कश्मीर, जिन्हें हमें नए डिज़ाइन सिखाए, जिन्हें हमें मार्केट दिया, जिन्हें हमें काफ़ी सपोर्ट किया. तो उस वजह से हमारे साथ छोटी छोटी लड़कियां भी जुड़ गई इस काम में. और गवर्नमेंट का कुछ यहाँ पे कुछ खास सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता है यहाँ पे, क्योंकि यहाँ हैंडीक्राफ्ट का डिपार्टमेंट बहुत अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है. बाहर के लोग ही जो एनजीओ है या बाकी लोग हैं, निफ्ट दिल्ली से लोग आते हैं, वो हमें डिजाइन सपोर्ट और बाकी चीज करते हैं, जिससे हमारा काम थोड़ा आगे बढ़ा. जो आपने ये कैटलॉग में हमारी चीजें देखी, ये हम पहले वो ट्रेडिशनल आपने देखे होंगे कश्मीर में सूट्स और बाकी चीजें बेचते थे. अब हम यहाँ पे कुछ नया यही बैग्स और लैपटॉप स्लीव्स बाकी चीजें नए बना रहे हैं. सीडी से भी हमें काफी मदद मिली, जिसे हमने फोटोग्राफी ऑनलाइन सेशंस लिए, जिसे हमने ये ऑनलाइन चीजें सीखी, फोटोग्राफी सीखी, काफी कुछ मदद मिला उनसे.
थैंक यू सजाद, आपने ये बताया कि आप लोग कैसे ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं. क्लियरली देयर इज अ स्ट्रगल, but I must laud you for your commitment, which is really the most important piece of this entire effort you're putting together. Meera, before we open this discussion for questions from the audiences, I just wanted you to kind of sum this up for us in a way that there is a call to action. I mean, no matter how great our intent, at the end of the day, we have to act on a few things that require, urgency, and those that can benefit the community at large. So if you could spend some time on that for me.
Yeah. So I think, basically, even what Meena ma'am said, I think it's all about all of us working together. Because as I mentioned earlier, that we need to strengthen the ecosystem for artisans, because it's like I was just about to say, it's like a catch-22, right? That there are no buyers for the product, and because there are no buyers, they are forced to sort of get lower wages, and because of the lower wages, then it's not sustainable, and then they are leaving their work. So now, how do we create an environment which enables them to earn better, which will require differentiation in terms of the product quality, design, and also building on principles of global asks now, such as sustainability, also sort of communicating about why it's important. It's heritage, yes, and that's important, but beyond heritage, why is it critical for these practices to become vibrant, to thrive, to sustain? Because it's connected with the entire ecology, and also with our own well-being. So how do we create value together? I think this partnership with FICCI Flow has been one attempt to create a more mainstream, coming together of people. Hopefully this will create visibility, more visibility and connections for the sector. Likewise, I would really like to reach out to Meena ma'am and say that let us explore ways in which we can strengthen each other's work, because I do believe that all the government schemes, if today artisans are even continuing to work, it has been because of all the support and schemes largely that have been in operation since the last 75 years. All the schemes are very well thought out. I mean, every angle has been sort of designed properly. I think, and if I can be candid, Meena ma'am, the problem has been in the implementation of it. Everywhere we have had problems in, poorly implemented, at the ground level to the lowest and the last mile artisan. And I feel their networks like ours, networks like FICCI Flow, I think we can all step in to help you reach the most, vulnerable, the most needed artisan, the cluster. And I think if we can work together on this, we can definitely build together traceability systems together. In our network, we have people who are developing technologies. I believe you have met one of them, Vijaya of Kosha. He has already presented to you. He told me you quite liked his presentation. I think there's a lot we can do together to promote it. Also, if we can activate the weaver service centers as part of the ecosystem, they have done sterling work in the past. We have the network, they have the reach, they have the expertise. But again, the poor implementation has somewhere led to bureaucracy and so on. They need to kind of be reinvented. And we're very happy to work with you, at least as pilots, to see what can be done. The other thing I feel is that basically we need to just, I think really build campaigns together as well. So if we can, coordinate our campaigns, if we can bring out the right messaging together, I think these are some of the ways in which we could collaborate.
That's such a great note to conclude the panel, and open it to the audience, because we keep talking, Beena ji, about the creator economy. This is the creative economy. And we perhaps deserve to turn this into more like an influencer story, an influencer from the grassroots, a person who, the artisan influencer, really speaking, and sort of mainstream this journey like we have in our various other segments. And I'll be very happy to bring in all the might and support of the digital spaces I use and create to support this, because fundamentally at the end of the day, as Sajid said, that it's a very female dominated sector as well, and can in many ways help us improve livelihood at multiple levels, and carry on tradition in art and craft, which is otherwise either dwindling or is threatened, towards extinction. I'm going to ask Rupa to take this over from me.
Kelly, can I just add one point? I'm sorry, I would just like to add one point. I think having campaigns and building value is very important for the simple reason that one of the biggest challenges is also the imitation power loops. And it's a very complex issue because a lot of weavers are only making them. So it's not an easy solution. But I think we do need to, think together, really brainstorm together. And I think, Beena ji, if we can really take your time to really think this through, that how, I mean, we know that the Handloom Reservation Act exists, but it's very rarely implemented. So if we can bring out creative solutions to, to creating more value, more recognition, more awareness, more stringent regulation, then I think that will go very long.
Can I just interrupt? Shaili has another session. And thank you, Shaili, for your absolute brilliant moderating. And we want you over and over again for our causes. Thank you so much. Now, now we will open the session for any questions and answers. I see
If you have questions, please do raise your hand. We'll come back to you one after the other.
Yeah, Lipika has one, Josna has one.
Can I just say something? I'm very tempted with Beena ji's here before she leaves. I want to just add that we, handicrafts and handlooms, they meet almost all the 17 markers of the UN Sustainability Goals, which is a great soft power. But how do we address it and how do we use that power? Because we are so fragmented, where do we go? Which ministry? So so the craft sector, we are almost 14 ministries we are spread out in. So if we have a Karigar Mantralaya, maybe they will be able to, they can address it in a direct manner. There's Ministry of Textiles that has handloom little bit in it, and handicraft is one little teeny weeny bit within that ministry. So we have women and child, we have welfare, rural welfare, we have MSME, skill development, everything is, so we don't have, so that is something I thought that I'm tempted to tell you, because, the traceability, like the IBM study, it said that people, 40% of the youth, they are going to buy only things which are sustainable. So this is something which has come in the public space. Shaili was asking that question, and it has come in the public domain where people are going to question that. So we should really ride the wave with our handicrafts and handlooms.
Yes. Lipika, can you unmute yourself?
Hello. Hi, can you see me? Yes. So this question again is Meena ji. Anjana ji has almost said it all. The problem here is where to go, everything is spread under so many heads when it comes to the government hand-holding that we are looking for. At a personal level or at a corporate level, trust me, there's a lot that is being done with people like Anjana, Somany, and so many others. Myself, being an interior designer, being in the design business for the last more than 3 decades, I came to this conclusion after beating my head with the government agencies and trying to go to the various government departments to how, and all these things that we hear, the policies and the budgets that are allocated towards craft, nothing worked. I'm being very honest with you. It's no point in talking in circles. So I came down to the fact that one has to do things on one's own self. So like Meena ji, you had said, the question is how to become more organized, how to become from more organized to becoming more entrepreneurial, and how in turn being able to, from entrepreneurship to making these crafts more popular and financially empowering these craftsmen. Trust me, it is not very difficult. It is very easy. It's all about a will that we all need to have our hearts and souls put together. I can just share my own personal ground level experiences. When I was doing corporate buildings, and I do interiors for very large buildings, so I made it a point to tell them that I'll do the interiors. The only criteria is all the walls have to be filled with that particular local craft. So supposing it was, in Madhya Pradesh, it would be gone. I did a multinational company, Integrion, as a matter of fact, they just said, no way, we can't put Indian art on the walls of an office in India just because it's in India. It's an international company. I had to call up their CEO 20 times over, finally convince them. There are 400 artworks on the walls of this office in Noida in the technology park. And trust me, this has become a talking point. People actually go to that office to say, if you want to see Indian art, have a look, go to the Integron office and have a look at the walls. And then the company acknowledged me, and a lot of things. They took out a brochure. They have put all the crafts on their website. The employees now can order the crafts, and so much has really happened. So it's a very feel-good feeling. The Sanji artist, the paper cutting craft from Mathura, it was getting extinct. We managed to get a project for them where we empowered 200 artworks, and now they are back in business. So it's a very feel-good factor. But honestly, ladies, it's just a drop in the ocean. So Meena ma'am, please, if a drop like me can do this little drop, I think a lot of us should just add to the drops and make an ocean. And we need your help here, seriously. FICCI as a body, I'm telling you, Jayashri gave me a fantastic platform. Recently, we did a Gond workshop in Bhopal at a FICCI FLO get-together. The awareness is missing. Anjana ma'am is saying the right thing. People don't.
I would like to, sorry to just cut you in.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Just a topic very close to my heart, so I had to say this.
If you can just put your questions in the chat box, I will take it up personally with the panelists. Jyotsna, if you can put your question in the chat box, I'll take it up with the panelists.
Meena ji, I would like to meet you anyway. Just that was the parting shot, so that we can discuss and take it forward if possible.
So if I might just intervene. In fact, a lot of questions are addressed to me. I see a lot of points in the chat box also. I'm sorry because I'm watching a screen, whereas my camera is here. I don't know whether that mismatch is happening there. But so I'm not able to read the chats in its entirety. So,
can I read that out for you? Beena ji, can I read that out for you?
Yeah, please.
So one of the questions that are there in the chat box is, handloom and handicraft products are deeply rooted in tradition and cultural heritage, but the marketplace is not so relevant and appealing to the consumers, while still preserving their authenticity and cultural significance.
So I think the broad point that is being made is that our weavers are accustomed to products and weaves which they've seen their father doing or their mothers doing. So it's like handed over from generation to generation. They are a little hesitant to innovate because they are always feeling key, if I do something new, will it get sold? So that fear is always there. And that is where we need to give them designs and hand mold and ensure that look, people take this product. Anjana ji had some points. Lipika, you had some points. So I think there are too many questions that are being thrown.
There's one question, Beena ji, which keeps coming up, and that's about GST. So we've heard those in the past as well. That products below 1,000 attract a GST of 5%, whilst those above 1,000 have a GST of 12%. So can we look at some way to get this lowered across products or simplify it further? Is that a possibility?
In the pre-GST regime, handloom and handicraft did not have tax. And once GST came, we had this, it was first put at 12%, then it got reduced to 5%. We have been consistently taking it up with the finance department to do away with it, because khadi is zero. Khadi does not have GST, whereas handloom and handicraft has. So in a way, it is like it is not correct. So we are trying it from the Ministry of Textiles. We are taking it up, but I don't know. Maybe FICCI as the FICCI can also take it up at a larger level. It's more of a policy decision. So that is one thing. Yeah, somebody mentioned they don't know whom to approach. It is very correct. Government is fragmented, because you are now talking to me. I look after handlooms. Now, if you were to ask me something about handicraft, because there was a gentleman from Kashmir, he said, "Wo ari work kar raha hai," and he has not seen anything of government. Now, I did not rebut, because that comes under handicraft. So though it is a textile work, so government is fragmented in a way. There's no solution to it, but I can assure you that at least their Jayashree will vouch for that. I am very open, I am very accessible, and I would love to meet each one of you, and I would really like to work with you, because maybe I can't perform miracles, but within my department, within my zone of influence, I'll be more than happy to work with you.
And then there is one which isn't really a question, but seems like a suggestion and rather a plea. If we can possibly make purchases of handmade products tax deductible.
That again, it's a tall order. Here we are struggling with GST, so that is it's a new thing. But let us see. We'll not close the options. But CSR, I would really request, reiterate that if CSR can be used to support clusters and to purchase, and if I was telling Jayashree also, if all the companies of India were to decide that for their corporate gifting, Honorable Prime Minister is giving handloom and handicraft products. So if all the companies, Indian companies, were to decide that we will give only handloom handicraft as Diwali gifting, but then the next part of the story is that Diwali is so close, and you go to any weaver cluster, you will not have so much of product ready. So I was suggesting to FICCI FLO that FICCI FLO should come out with a label that FICCI FLO products, and keep it ready and give it to all the companies which require it. But yes, there are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of drops in the ocean that we need to come together and consolidate our efforts. And from the point of DC Handloom, I'm here to work with each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Beena ji.
Shall we now close the session? Huh? Thank you so much. I now invite our Senior Vice President, Ms. Poonam Sharma, to give her vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to speak to you about a topic that is deeply woven into the culture and economic fabric of India. The ancient time, the art of handloom weaving is one of the richest and most vibrant aspect of our heritage. To our esteemed guests, artisans, and fellow enthusiasts, a heartfelt thank you for joining us today. And it was a big number that I was seeing that joined us today in celebrating the magic of Indian handlooms and handicrafts. Your presence and passion is what keeps these timeless traditions alive. We are inspired by the stories and stirring music. सोनाली जी, आपकी मुझे ये एक चीज पूछनी थी कि पहले कहानी आई और फिर पेंटिंग आई कि पहले पेंटिंग आई और फिर कहानी आई, पर बहुत ही बढ़िया थी. And the art on display, the dedication of agents of transformation like FLO, creative dignity, the power of creativity of our designers, the systematic impact being brought about by the government, and the passion that goes into every handicrafted piece. Thank you, Joy Shri ji, for your vision, commitment in promoting the welfare of our artisans. Heartful gratitude to the eminent panelists, Mrs. Beena, DC Handlooms. Beena ji, it was really great talking to you. A lot of insight into what the ministry is doing. And thank you for the suggestion that, we could always coordinate with you. Mrs. Anjana Somany, our past president, who is also the founder of Mango Tree and enthusiast in traditional handicrafts and arts. FLO, Mrs. Meera Garodia, co-chair Creative Dignity, Mrs. Anita Dongre, India's leading fashion designer, and Pabiben, aap ko bhi thank you. Thank you all for your contribution to handlooms and handicraft. Thank you, Shirley. I think she has left, for moderating this panel. And our initiative heads, Rupa and Swati, for putting together this impactful program. Thank you, past presidents. I think Usha ji was there, GB members, the secretariat. Let's continue to support these artisans, ensuring their skills and creativity, and continue to weave the magic that they are weaving. Beena ji, I would really like to use again and again, I've just taken that as a quote, living heritage. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I'm going to use it very often. Thank you for those words. Thank you all once again.
Thank you so much, Poonam ji, for summing up this entire session and doing it so beautifully and ending it on such a wonderful note. And before we all disperse, I think we would like to express a heartfelt thank you to the wonderful elite panel that we had today, who made us face so many issues across categories, and our small way of showing our appreciation is by presenting them with a green certificate. Can I request the tech team to please display the green certificates on screen? So at FICCI FLO, this is our unique way of saying thank you. Instead of gifting flowers, we present you, or we plant a tree in your name in alliance with growtrees.com. You can trace the growth of your tree from the unique identification number given on the certificate. This is a small way to a cleaner, greener tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, from the bottom of our hearts for making this event a success. And I hope we will all use the product catalog in the next few days and inundate our artisans with so many orders to make their lives better and our corporate and Diwali gifting so much easier. Thank you so much.